just not something that you would expect a grieving husband to do.
When Racheyle's family finally sees her body for the first time, they are alarmed.
At the viewing, they told Aunt Pat not to let anyone touch the body. So when I got there, I walked up to see Racheyl, and I noticed that there were a lot of injuries on her face. She had 3 fingerprint bruises on the inner part of her arm. Looked like where someone had grabbed her forcefully.
After Racheyle's death, her husband's behavior continues to disturb her family.
Morning after the accident, he called her job to see if her insurance was double if it was an accident.
Shortly after Racheyle's death, Steve shows up in a brand new pickup truck, and he starts spending this money like a guy who has no control and just won the lottery. He started calling on that insurance real fast.
On January 30th, 2002, when the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's medical examiner, Dr. Laura Darasaw, completes Racheyle's official autopsy report, the family notices details that clearly seem like errors.
She said there was no visible marks on her body, like scars and stuff. Well, she had had a melanoma removed from her arm right here, which left a pretty big, ugly mark.
And you can see this scar, and this doctor, for some reason, couldn't see it on her body when she did the autopsy.
But her family's biggest issue with the report lies in the cause and manner of death.
Dr. Darasaw came to the conclusion that this did indeed look like the death of a woman that suffered blunt force trauma as a result of falling out of a tree.
The autopsy report says she was crushed like Rice Krispies, falling out of a tree. You're not going to get that many bruises in that many different places, front and back.
We asked the head investigator how that could have possibly happened, and he gave us the story. Well, Racheyl was probably traveling at such a high rate of speed after she fell out of the tree that when she hit the ground, which was soft, that her body hit so hard that it probably flipped her over at a 12 to 15 foot fall.
In November 2003, Racheyle's mother hires 2 private investigators.
The very first mistake that was made was taking Stephen's word for the incident, that she had fallen from that stand. Any sudden, unexpected death should be treated as a crime scene, and that was not done.
The scene was not processed correctly. They didn't do any searches. They didn't ask Steve Brinson any questions. They didn't take his clothes.
With private investigators on her side, Racheyle's mother is hopeful that all her hard work will pay off.
What we knew from the beginning was that Pat thought it was murder, so we went with the intent to investigate and find out what it was. Was it a fall from a tree? Was it a homicide? And the more we investigated, the more we determined that it was a homicide. When I got there, it was like everyone in town knew I was there. I would go into a lunch cafe and they would all look at me. But when I wanted to talk to these witnesses, they all wanted to talk. They were never interviewed by the sheriff or the sheriff's department at all. So they wanted to tell their story.
Law enforcement didn't interview anybody. They didn't interview Royce Proctor. He is the one that gave Steve a ride to Aunt Pat's house. Royce turned to Steve and said, "Steve, is there anybody you need to call, to be with you at this time?" So he tried his dad. The exact words that Royce said come out of his mouth when his dad answered was, "Dad, I really fucked up this time. Racheyle's dead." And Royce said, "I almost lost it." He said, "I was so shocked to hear that come out of his mouth."
Blunt force trauma can come from different things, And facial injuries can come from different things. So instead of attributing to falling out of a tree stand, there are other things that could do that to you.
The private investigators share the family's concerns about the thoroughness of Dr. Laura Derisaw's autopsy.
It was a very partial, quick autopsy. I found out later that the sheriff's department had called her and told her what happened, and she took that verbatim. But I also found out that police officers had called and told her about the physical abuse and the domestic problems. And I asked her why she didn't pursue that. She said the body had already been released. And I asked her what would cause her to fall from a tree stand if she fell. And she said she was drunk. She had a 0.15 alcohol rating.
PI Rich Graham has his doubts about the entire story.
Racheyl never went into that tree stand. I believe that when they left from shooting their rifles in, they went back to Stephen's camp. And I believe that that's when Racheyl told him that she wanted a divorce. I believe that he's upset. There was an altercation. I think he also was suspicious of her possibly having an affair with one of her co-workers. There was a culmination of everything, and he just lost it.
He had made the comment to my Aunt Pat that Racheyl makes me so mad sometimes I could just kill her. They were fighting. He cheated on her. He beat her up. We just knew something wasn't right.
The family's private eyes used their findings to try to persuade law enforcement to reopen her case. They approach L.W. Bruce, the coroner, who originally examined Rachel's body.
Now, in my opinion, Coroner Bruce made his ruling based largely on Stephen Brinson's statement, and we tried to approach him with information after we investigated to try to explain to him why we felt he should change his ruling. And he referred something or other about, you damn Yankees don't come down here and tell me how to do my work.
Coroner Bruce did not respond to our interview requests and has made no public statements. Given the official refusal to take another look at the case, Rachel's family is left piecing it all together themselves. Based on the timeline evidence found by their private eyes, the injuries they witnessed at the funeral, and what they know about Steve and Racheyl.
I believe that Steve and her got into an argument on the way back to the hunt club. I believe he beat her. I believe he grabbed her by the arm and put those bruises on her. I believe she got away from him. I believe that she ran out of the trailer. He followed her. I believe he took the butt of the gun and hit her so hard in the back of the head with it that he split her from ear to ear. And Lieutenant Dale Bundy's report said that he checked the gun, he noticed blood all over the gun, and he did not send it for forensics. He gave it back to Steve.